Alright, so jumping into another subject I used to teach back in the days, biology, because bio multiple choice coming up, so you're gonna need them a little bio revision daily. You know the drill. Press like, wait, alive, everything all right? All you hearing me? Things working like how they supposed to work. Excuse me. To join for online lessons, WhatsApp the Student Hub. Everything on my channel, because you see the Student Hub, because you know the Student Hub is my online lessons company. +1 868 310 1306. This year we celebrated, like, this is our 5th season we're going into. Here we started 2020 thereabouts, and we have quickly grown to become most popular #1 online lessons institution in the Caribbean, right? You can check us out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I think my throat is good. I think we're ready to pump through, do a quick speed run in bio, and then we get close up the night. So how were these last 3 sessions? Are they feeling good? Are they feeling confident for the exams in the morning? Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, the Student Hub, whatever social media you're on, you can follow us there for more information. Registration has begun. Those of y'all who already know what you plan to do for CAPE, you could, of course, WhatsApp that number. If you have brothers and sisters about to do CSEC, those of y'all who are this is your last month in the Student Hub, but maybe you have a sibling who's in Form 4 and they're coming up, let them register early. You know how important it is to register early to get to pick your best classes. And also to just get the information from early, so you don't start the Student Hub late. You get all the notes, you stay in the system from early, right? All right, everybody. So let me jump through. Let me jump in, lock in. So which of the following characteristics is used to distinguish insects from other arthropods? Well, it had to be the number of legs, right? Number of legs. How much legs in an insect, boy? The hairiness, the color, the shape. I think the best answer is A here. We back to this best answer, I think. Living organisms such as plants are affected by abiotic factors which determine where they become established. So the following options describe some of the determining factors. So looking at abiotic is the key word here, right? So Dana abiotic. Parasitism, commensalism, no. Sediment size, shape, and color. Where they become established. Sunlight availability, soil pH, mineral. So this is real good so far. Deforestation. This is more like man influence. The best answer I see. This is I'm trying to remember the word is called man. What is called this? As a result of human activity. Whatever one word to describe this, I forget the word. But C is the answer, right? That's the abiotic factors when they talk about that. A 50 gram Q artificial was the word I think I was looking for. A 50-gram sample of fresh soil, well and Julissa. Repeatedly heated at 110 degrees and cooled in a desiccator. Oh, yeah, the final answer. Hey, this feeling like I walk back in memory lane as I do these questions, boy. The soil component eliminated by this procedure is water. Is getting rid of all the water. You frying him up, you're drying him like a bake cody. You're drying him out. How many complete food chains can be shown? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3. 3. It's 3 is the answer for this one. 3. Oh, that kind of maths question here. 1, 2, 3. Complete food chains. Infestation of mealybugs can cause severe damage to hibiscus, very often to lady. The relationship between mealybugs and ladybird beetles Well, they actually killing them and eating them, right? So it's not no parasite, it's not no mutualism, it's not no beneficial things here. That is just straight up mayhem. What is good for us and what is food for the ladybird beetles is chaos for the millibugs. Them just trying to live, you know? They're just trying to live, and they introduce things to kill them out. Bacteria play an important role in the cycling of nitrogen. Usually foreign organisms is not a part. Nitrosomonas. I know this one. I can't remember these names too good. I know the answer is D because my bio teacher tell me the answer is D. Bio teacher and the student have big them up. You have two main ones at your level. That would be Miss Akili and Miss Crystal. This not I never what was this? This is not the thing that is you know the thing that is hot up your throat. What is this? Somebody tell me what is that? Speed running, I'm not supposed to be stopping. Yes, yes, yes. Nice. Look up Dahlia. That had nothing to do with this. What kind of three-dimensional diagram is this, boy? Energy flow through ecosystem is not 100% efficient. This is so because energy is lost during respiration and excretion. Fine. Recycle from plants to the atmosphere. Circular moving in and out of the organisms. And linear moving from one organism to the next. No, the best answer here. They're losing during respiration and excretion, and also incomplete digestion of the food and thing would also be a factor. Plenty factors. Which of the following practices can be used in the conservation or restoration of an ecosystem? Strictly hunting seasons, quarrying to remove limestone, that helping. Planting of mangrove, so 1 and 3. 1 and 3. So we just had to go with a kind of common sense approach here. Which of the following are effects of pollutants and coral reefs in the Caribbean? Yes, no. Where was I? Where was I? I was doing it myself. Yeah, so we just do a speed run of maths. We do a speed run of IT, and now we're in a speed run of bio. So answer for this one. So we follow the effects of pollutants and coral reefs in the Caribbean, increasing macro algal and seagrass growth. Yes, yes, yes. Less reef fish effects, right? More branching. Excuse me. So it's 1 and 3 is the answer. How to be which are the following are true about the effect of carbon monoxide from exhaust? The short is biology, but what kind of geography, chemistry looking paper is this for? What of the following about binds reversibly, binds more easily with hemoglobin, prevents, so this is it, right? Prevents oxygen transport by hemoglobin. So all is be reversible. It's not irreversible, it's just more easy than oxygen. All. It is reversible. It just favors the forward reaction a little better than oxygen. So it is reversible, it's not irreversible. Or it is carboxyhemoglobin or something let's call it. It is irreversible. It just has a stronger affinity. It bonds faster. Yeah, physics paper one coming. When is physics exam, Ollie? When is physics? Phase 4 of the graph is most likely due to, this is population growth. Competition, that's good. Adequate food and space are high, so A. Competition is starting to die off. The physics is Monday. Woo! We have a physics session coming Sunday. A long physics session. So I might go from like 1 o'clock to like maybe 5 or 6. A long physics session. And add maths. Interesting. Stand by, right? I'll load up the live either today or tomorrow. Which organelles are correctly matched to their function? Why these bio questions taking up the whole page, boy? 1, what is this? A plant cell. Like the green stuff there. 2, I can barely make out what's going on here. Now, which one is the C is the answer? You all tell me what is 1 and what is 2. 1 contains the chlorophyll, right? But what is this? What is 2? I'm a biology teacher. This is the chloroplast. 2 is the mitochondria. This is mitochondria. Oh gosh, Achille, I'm now trying to figure out what is 1 and 2 here. One is the chloroplast. I just see them by a teacher and it just pop out like magic.
Hi.
You hear me?
Yeah, I heard you. Wow, what's going on?
One is the chloroplast here.
So this I'm trying to see. Oh, so this is the question. I don't like the question, right? Because the question is whether you can identify which one is the mitochondria, which one is the chloroplast. But one, in terms of how the sketch is made, that depicts a mitochondria because you see in the cristae, and 2 looks more like the lamellae that you would find in your chloroplast. But there are no matching answers in the options that says that 1 is mitochondria and 2 is chloroplast. So I advise my students to put C for this, because 1, how it's sketched looks like mitochondria, 2, how it's sketched look like chloroplast, but the reverse is what the options are in the table. So put C for the
Because they are controlled cell activity and then stores nutrients.
So A and B completely out, D out. So C would be your best answer here. But this question, it ain't it.
All right. Well, I have my screen up. I guess you could look at my screen unless you wanna present. Which of the following comparisons of the cell wall and the cell membrane is incorrect? Cell wall found in plant cells only, freely permeable, contains cellulose, found in both plant and animal cells. Incorrect. I done tending towards D. Does not contain cellulose, differentially permeable, found in both. Oh gosh, D. D.
D.
D. D is the way to go. So you want to take over or keep running?
I had yes, no. Yeah. I just literally sat at the computer and I was watching the live on my phone. So I just popped in to answer the question for you now.
Okay.
But I'm now trying to.
Oh, when you set up and thing, in multicellular organisms, cells become different from one another in order to carry out particular functions. This is called specialization. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. We cooking. All of these not talking about cells, he's talking about the whole organism, right? All of these would refer to the whole organism, not like the cell.
Yeah.
Which of the following statements best describes diffusion? Energy is required? Not really. A cell membrane is required. Not really. A concentration, yes. Plenty of these questions overlap with physics and chemistry, boy. It involves movement of water only, no. The process demonstrated in the diagrams above is responsible for, so drop of dye. So this is diffusion. Yeah. Water entering root cells, minerals entering root cells, starch entering phloem cells, carbon dioxide entering leaf cells. Minerals entering root cells, starch entering phloem cells, and carbon dioxide entering leaf cells. I'm feeling like I will, all of these here feeling like not to pick them because this feeling like how does minerals enter root cells? This feeling like an active thing.
As active
This
transport.
active.
Yeah.
This starch and water. I don't know
Water
about the
and
starch.
then
Water is throughout
mostly.
that going through a membrane, that going through the root cells. Yeah,
Yeah.
so this one is just plain diffusion. So I feel like D is the best answer.
D is the best answer.
D is the best answer, which is
Cannot find
what
a blank region on this.
what we have. Carbon dioxide is entering root cells. Yeah. So this feels like osmosis. But how starch enter the phloem cells again?
But
Just out of curiosity.
starch not supposed to
Starch
be
not
entered.
going to be.
It's transported
Starch.
as sucrose, not starch.
All right. So starch is not soluble.
No.
All
So
right.
starch,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. That's why my mind was pulling a blank on this one. After absorption by the ileum, excess glucose is immediately converted to. You ready?
Not yet.
Is immediately converted to glycogen by the liver and muscles. Well done, Josh. Josh here getting everything correct for like the last 3 weeks. Yes, Josh, like you get everything correct in the exam. Anemia may be caused by a lack of iron. Is good. Vitamin B added with blood. Well, I just know anemia, lack your blood count low and iron with the blood and everything. So A. And I have a very first-hand relationship with anemia. Which of the following organisms is autotroph? Make their own food? Not a cow, not the humans. Seaweeds or moles? Seaweeds. Seaweeds is the best answer. Seaweeds can be green. Seaweeds can make their own food. So why moles are not autotroph? They grow on things.
They're still heterotrophic organisms because they glean nutrients from this what they grow on.
They just feed off of things. Okay, cool. From other organisms, that is. When starch is chemically digested in the mouth, the enzyme and product, well, I know it's salivary amylase, but I don't know whether it's sucrose or maltose. I feel like someone earlier gave me this question back in the days, you know. Must be you or Crystal.
When
So it's
enzyme,
maltose.
yeah, maltose.
Anything is digested into sucrose. Anything is break down anything into sucrose.
No,
Where would I see this?
sucrose is a table sugar. So your body will sucrate the enzyme that will break down sucrose is sucrase into glucose and fructose. But that happens in the small intestine.
So this comes from the table sugar, but it's not supposed to be there. All right, so maltose. Okay. You know the chemical formula of these things often? Maltose and sucrose, like how much carbons in them?
So they sucrose is 12 Because sucrose is a disaccharide, glucose is a monosaccharide, maltose is a disaccharide. So maltose is two glucose molecules joined together. Sucrose is a glucose and fructose joined together. Glucose is the only monosaccharide there.
Fire, I need dance all boy. I used to know that back in the days. I used to know that back in the days. Oh yes, but now it's just maths. Photosynthesis occurs mainly in the area labeled. Oh yeah, one of hit me this question already too. What is the area that photosynthesis? Somebody said don't lie, sir. So must be, so must be lost. Don't lie, sir. I really did. I really did. I promise, Ali. I knew it back in the days. I don't know it now. So be this layer. Now, what are the names of all of these layers? 1, 2, 3, and 4.
One is the upper epidermis, 2, the palisade mesophyll layer, 3, spongy mesophyll layer, and 4 would be a lower epidermis.
Ah, boy. I've seen some people here was coming through. Is reforestation a word? Well, if they put it, probably is. The respiratory structure shown above is red blood cell coming along here. So this is not that, not that, not that. A by elimination. That's the singular alveolus. The energy released during the process is converted to ADP, converted to ATP. As you asked me this question recently, and stored in a high energy bonding, and I get it wrong.
You did.
Correct.
You get it wrong.
Wrong. Oh God. Let me see if I get it wrong two times. Stored in a higher energy bonding ATP. But you tell me I should have trust what I was saying from before something converted to ATP. This is the more complex one I was saying. Chat give me a little hint there now. Stored in a high energy bonding ATP. You sure this is the one I get wrong? It's not converted to ATP.
I
think is D is the correct answer?
D is the correct answer.
D? Okay. I don't know if it's this one I get wrong. I feel it was the next one. Or well, your memory probably better than mine. Stored in a high energy bond in ATP. Because I remember saying that however we convert it to ATP, if ATP is the thing, it converts to ATP.
We had that back and forth. I really can't remember.
So which of the following chemicals paralyzes cilia on the membranes and results in mucus accumulation in the lungs? Well, I don't think they're telling the biology students about arsenic. So my guess is nicotine. Paralyzes.
Nah.
You should be wrong.
Ta.
But does tar paralyze it like in the sense of the word paralyze, or it just clogs it up?
It clogs it up. Basically.
So tar is the best answer here.
Yeah.
Tar is the best answer. So what's the effects of nicotine then? That's just more on addiction and thing.
Nicotine is addictive. It's a vasoconstrictor, that sort of thing, but it's not affecting the cilia so much.
Okay. Well, I know it wasn't arsenic and carbon monoxide, and since this doesn't affect the cilia, it wouldn't be this one. So tar. But we already say paralyzes here. In a patient, how you know that, Tishon? You ready?
Yeah. If I can remember.
All right. Okay. No, you just need to present and bring up all your screen. I tell you, you're going to get one of the big bio teachers from there. The student have to finish off here number 25 and straight out. So they can get some more solid explanations as well as the answers. No, because bro say, yes, it's Nicotine is very it's very addictive for real. How do you know that? All right, so we're starting back with 25. You could scroll and you handle your stories there, actually.
Yeah, hopefully, with this dicey drawing pad here.
Uh-huh.
All right, so item 25 refers to the following diagram of a mammalian heart, right? Let me zoom out a little bit. Right. So in a patient with a certain defective heart condition, it was found that blood flowed from section 1 to section 2 of the diagram above. This was most likely due to a malfunction of the right, as you can see in the chart, so it's going to be C. C is what structure though? The bicuspid valve that separates your left atrium and your left ventricle. So if you have blood going backwards from the ventricle into the atrium, that's not the direction we want blood to flow. It's supposed to go into the aorta. So the bicuspid valve would be at fault there. 26, which of the following is not a type of substance transported by the circulatory system of an animal, right? So you have A, solid undigested food, B, metabolic waste, C, respiratory gas, or D, digested food. Right, so the answer here is going to be A, because your solid undigested food is supposed to remain within the alimentary canal and it will never make its way into your bloodstream. So it's not going to be in the circulatory system. So the answer here is A. I forget to put in C over here, right? The blood of a person suffering from a pathogenic disease differs from that of a healthy person by having a large number of, zoom in a little, 27 is going to be D. Your white blood cells is your body defense mechanism. So when you have your pathogens, your microorganisms that cause disease, you want your white blood cells on the scene to bring about a response. The zoom in, zoom out dynamic. Item 28 refers to the following diagram, which shows an open stoma of a leaf. Which of the following changes occur when the plant is conserving water on a hot day? So when the plant is conserving water on a hot day, you want that the stoma will close, right? To prevent transpiration from occurring, to prevent the loss of water vapor. So in order to close the stoma, you want the guard cells to be flaccid. When they're turgid, the walls stretch and open the stoma. So when they're flaccid, again, the plant is under water stress, so it would not have the maximum amount of water. It will be flaccid, so the thin cell walls will not stretch and the stoma will be closed. So it's going to be D. Right? 29, which of the following options correctly matches the storage organs to their stored nutrients? Right? So we have root, fruit, and liver. What is stored in the root? What is stored in the fruit? What is stored in the liver? So for 29, majority of people C. So you store starch in the root, we store sucrose in your fruit, and glycogen in the liver. A person whose kidneys have failed must undergo a process by which excretory materials are removed from the blood regularly. This is because excretory materials, does it raise your blood pressure, make the blood dilute, are not gotten rid of by any other means or would otherwise accumulate and poison the person. So this is going to be D, right? So we can't have your metabolic products, your metabolic waste increasing in the body because it's going to be toxic and would slowly poison the person, right? A student eats a highly salted snack and does not drink water. Which of the following describes and explains the urine most likely produced after a few hours? right? So it means that the water content in the body is too low. So it's going to be B. They would be trying to conserve water. You will produce concentrated urine, and the urine will be very concentrated because ADH would encourage the reabsorption of water back into the blood. So less water in the urine, making it concentrated, more water in the blood. And it's going to be because water was reabsorbed by the kidney. So it's going to be B. 32, dyes in hardwood and tannins in the bark of trees are most likely products of, is it going to be photosynthesis, respiration, excretion, or deoxins? Ooh, this one's slow. The answer's slow in the chat here with this one. Yeah, but it's going to be C. The plant excretes these waste by storing them in their leaves just before they fall off. Which of the following statements about the skeletal system are correct? It gives the body shape. It is made up of hard, non-living tissues. It protects delicate organs such as the heart and the lungs. (33) What is correct about the skeletal system? We indecisive. Some people saying B, some people saying D. I've seen an occasional C, but we seem to be stuck between B and D, which is, so we can't decide. So we all agree that it gives the body shape and that it protects delicate organs such as the heart and the lungs, but we're not too sure if about 2, right? So this one is going to be B because statement 2 is not true, right? So we have to omit that one. So B would be the correct answer because their bone is not non-living, right? 34, locomotion is important to animals for 1, avoiding predators, 2, acquiring food and shelter, 3, assimilating digested food. So everybody's saying A, 1 and 2 only. So locomotion is moving from one place to the next. You don't need to move from one place to the next to assimilate or make use of the food that you have digested. So it's going to be A for 34. Assimilating is when your body is making use of the substances that it digested. So using glucose for respiration, or using amino acids to make protein, or using your fatty acids to make cell membranes or for storage, etc. How the body uses it is assimilating, right? Item 35 refers to the following diagram of the arm and shoulder blade, but I am going to have to zoom out here. So hopefully you guys could still see. Movement in the shoulder, elbow, and wrist joints is correctly described as movement in So for this one, your shoulder, you're going to have movement in 3 planes, right? Your ball and socket joint, your elbow, movement in 1 plane, that is a hinge joint. Your wrist joint, again, you have movements in 3 planes here. So we would go with B for this one. Nice. 36, Sachsen's, I think I have that right. Sachsen's speech, that is a tongue twister, right? Sachsen's speech is slurred because he drank too much alcohol. Which of the labeled regions of the brain is affected by the alcohol? Right? So with this question, it was kind of funny. this question was kind of funny just because, so the A is the answer, right? But alcohol could eventually affect various regions of the brain. But cerebrum is your main and initial region that is going to be affected, where, logical thinking, reaction time, all of those things are going to slow down or decrease. Item 37 refers to the following diagram, which shows a reflex action. Which label structure is the effector? So we want to know, what do all the parts do? So one is going to be your receptor, right? One is going to be your receptor that would detect changes in the environment, right? And so detect the stimulus. Then that's going to send a message to your CNS via the sensory neuron, right? It's then going to arrive within the CNS. This is going to be an interneuron. Makes a decision. It's going to send a message to your effector via your motor neuron. And in this case, the effector is, well, 3, which is a muscle, but your effectors are either muscles or gland, and they are then going to bring about a response, right? So the answer to this question is going to be C. Item 38 refers to the following actions: bending of shoots toward light, rolling up of a millipede when touched, withdrawal of an earthworm into its burrow when touched. All of these are examples of, it's going to be stimuli, responses, C, locomotion, or D, growth movements. Right? So these are all responses, which is a combination of growth movements for your plants, as well as showing you movement, locomotion in your animals. 39, a girl smells a hamburger and salivates. Which of the following is the effector which brings about her response? So you have the smell of food, salivary glands, cells in the nose, or D, secretion of saliva. Miss, can you zoom in? Well, I'm playing a very delicate dance here, zooming in for some, zooming out for some. Right? So they're asking for the effector. And remember, I told you that effectors are either muscles or glands. So in this case, it's going to be the gland releasing the saliva, which, so B is going to be the effector. Right? Smell of the food is the stimulus. Cells in the nose will be the receptor. Secretion of saliva will be the response. B is the effector. 40, now I had to zoom back out again. Item 40 refers to the following diagram of an eye which shows nearsightedness. Which of the following shows how the defect can be corrected? Right, it's going to be A. We need diverging lens, which is going to be your concave lens, so that you will have the bending of the light rays before entering the eye. We want that to be outwards. 41, in the cotyledon of a red bean, which factor is not a requirement for the breakdown of stored food during germination? Is it going to be enzymes, warmth, oxygen, or light? So we're needing all of the above except D, which is going to be light, right? Light is not a requirement. 42. Item 42 is based on the following graph, which shows the height of some students in a class. Which label portion of the graph represents the unusually short students? They say unusually short, or no? I mean, like, that is the proper way to describe it, but it sounds disrespectful if you ask me, right? Like, if so, how you describe somebody as being unusually short? Yeah, but it's going to be A, right? So this shape of graph is called the normal distribution. So you're going to have those on the lower end of the spectrum being here, those on the upper end of the spectrum being here, and those in the middle with the highest frequency is going to be your mid or your average. Yeah, it's real disrespect though. But the answer is A. Your unusually short individuals are going to be on that first part of the curve over here. 43 refers to the following diagram, which shows a section through the testis. The part labeled 1 is the short king's rule. For 43, 1 is pointing to the epididymis, right? Your seminiferous tubules would be 2, the prostate gland is not depicted, and your vas deferens, well, 4 will go into that, right? So 4 is the start of that. 44 pollen grains, which are small, light, odorless, and smooth, are most likely transferred by don't worry, you can't pronounce epididymis, but once you can recognize it, it's not oral exam, so you're safe. Right? It is going to be C, small and light, so that it can be carried far by the wind. 45, when an okra fruit becomes dry, it splits along several lines of weakness in its structure. This adaptation is suited for 45. This one is actually B, the scattering of the seeds. Right? After the seeds have been scattered, you would hopefully want them to germinate, but sorry, the copy I have isn't that great, right? It's a fruit though, and the seeds will be in the fruit, so it's a form of mechanical dispersion. Item 46 refers to the following diagrams of specialized cells. Which of the following structures is common to both cells? Cilium, nucleus, acrosome, or mitochondria? Right? They both have nuclei. 47, which of the following is the correct sequence for the formation, which of the following is the correct sequence for seed formation after fertilization? Your girl not reading all them options, right? So for this one, it's going to be A, ovule, then zygote, then embryo, then seed. Melissa, I'm going to see. I'd ask Mr. Springer on that one. 48, one method of controlling the population of mosquitoes is by getting rid of all stagnant water. Which stages of the life cycle does this method control? It's going to be B. You want the option that does not contain the adult, right? Because removing the stagnant water has nothing to do with the adult mosquito. So B is the only one that didn't have adults in it, right? 49, a farmer's crop is infected by a disease-causing organism and he is unable to harvest most of the crop. That's something real tough. Which of the following is an environmental implication as a result of this? Right? So again, you're looking at an environmental impact, which is going to be D, the risk of spread. 50, which of the following are consequences of plant or human disease? Right? Loss of productivity, decrease in food prices, larger part of the national budget used to buy medication. So now remember, this one is either or, right? Right? So basically, we're looking for any option that does not contain two, because plant disease, human disease, you're all talking about scarcity here. That's going to drive food prices up, not down. right? So any option without 2, and so that only left us with B. 51. 2 alleles of a gene are situated at, I'm going to bite the bullet, the same locus on a homologous pair of chromosomes, different loci on a homologous pair of chromosomes, the same locus on a different homologous pair of chromosomes, or different loci on a different homologous pair of chromosomes. By question starting to look like social studies here. This paper was kind of... So we stuck between A and C, like it was like a pattern, A, C in the chat, right? So A says it's the same locus on a homologous pair of chromosomes. Remember, locus is the position of a gene on the chromosome. C, the same locus, so we agree it's the same locus on different homologous pairs of chromosomes. So alleles are different forms of the same gene. So they are going to be on the same locus on a pair of homologous chromosomes. Homologous chromosomes have the same genes in the same positions, but they can have different forms of those genes, right? So 51 is going to be A. Right? 52, the gene for coat color in cattle shows incomplete dominance, right? So when we have incomplete dominance, what should be coming to your mind first? So people giving me the answer in the chat, right? If you're thinking incomplete dominance, you're thinking about mixed. The heterozygote is going to be a blend, right? Blood groups, you have co-dominance being exhibited. So you have to be, some incomplete dominance would be mixing in the heterozygote, right? So if you have a purebred cow with red coat mates with a purebred bull with white coat, all of the offspring have rowan coats. Which of the following would represent the genotype of the offspring, right? So what they went on to describe was a situation of co-dominance and not a situation of incomplete dominance. But either way, you're looking for your heterozygote genotype. So the answer here would be B, as you guys said. '53, which of the following about meiosis is not true? Mixing of genes occurs, produces 4 daughter cells, occurs only in the sex organs, and chromosome number is maintained. So which of meiosis is not true? Meiosis does produce 4 daughter cells, so it's not B, it's going to be D, right? Now, by the gametes having half the number of chromosomes, and then when they fuse, it restores the chromosome number so that the chromosome number would be maintained. That happens as a consequence of your haploid gametes fusing. But meiosis itself halves the number of chromosomes, right? So 53 is going to be D. 54, which of the following features of cell division refers to mitosis? It is essential for variety within a species. It results in the haploid number of chromosomes. It takes place in reproductive structures. The amount of genetic material in the cell remains the same. So 54 is going to be D. Mitosis is a photocopying machine. What you put in, is what you get out of it. So the amount of genetic material remains the same. 55. Albinism is caused by a single recessive allele. 2 normal parents can have an albino child. This is because, is it that both parents were heterozygous for the gene? Both parents were homozygous recessive for the gene. One parent was homozygous dominant for the gene and the other was heterozygous, or that one parent was homozygous dominant for the trait and the other homozygous recessive. So I've seen A, everybody mainly on A, right? So 2 normal parents, they both to have an albino child, they both must be carrying this recessive allele, right? But they must also have a dominant allele to mask it so that they don't have the condition, but that they can each give the recessive allele to their child, right? So both parents have to be heterozygous for this particular trait. So A. 56. One example of a sex-linked disease is going to be cancer, hypertension, color blindness, or D, Down syndrome. This is going to be C. Yeah, you got some questions on that. 57. Two goats heterozygous for fast growth rate are crossbred. The percentage of the F1 population most likely to possess homozygous alleles is it going to be A, 25%, B, 75%, C, 50%, or D, 100%? Right? So this one is, the answer is going to be C. It is 50%. When you have two heterozygous individuals being crossed, right, in terms of your alleles, you will end up with, the ratio is 1 homozygous dominant to 2 heterozygous to 1 homozygous recessive. Both your homozygous dominant and your homozygous recessive individuals will be obviously homozygous or have the same alleles. So 2 out of 4 would be 50%, right? So let's just use big G, small g by big G, small g. When you put that in your Punnett square, right? Big G, small g, big G, small g. You end up with big G, big G, big G, small g, big G, small g, and small g, small g. Homozygous alleles, 2 out of 4, 50%, right? 58. Which of the following describes a group of closely related organisms that are able to interbreed and produce fertile offspring? It's going to be B, species. That's textbook definition for a species. Natural selection may be described as a process by which a community retains those genes which make it adapted for its habitat, the technique by which a pioneer species retains those genes which makes it adapted for its habitat, process by which an organism retains those genes which makes it adapted for its environment, or the technique by which a selected organism retains those genes which makes it adapted for its habitat. Right? So it is going to be C, it's a process by which an organism retains those genes which makes it adapted for its environment. Right? And coming at 60, which of the following does not apply to genetic engineering? Is it going to be treating genetic diseases, producing higher yielding crops, determining the parentage of a child, or D, producing hormones and proteins? It is going to be C, right? Determining who the baby daddy is, that's something else. It's going to be something else.
All right, so we rack up our next 60 here. We did 60 maths, we did 60 IT. I had to do IT alone. Yes, the IT teacher was like, nah. So I had to pull out that IT alone. That one or two weird questions in IT. But I actually remembered more in IT than I remember in bio. So I'm glad you popped in for this last bit here. Akili, thank you very much.
Right.
Yep,
Somebody
and we
asking
knocked off.
Somebody asking if I could summarize genetics, but we could point them to the live that we did, and I did nearly as much some multiple choice genetics questions there as well. So if they could find that live, that would help them.
Yeah. So we wrap up that there. I can tell you that I am going to do add maths multiple choice session from like around 4:30 tomorrow. Please God, I'll be doing that in my class, but it will be showing on YouTube as well. So any AdMath students here, you can pop in with that one. I will be doing a physics as well from like around 12 o'clock on Saturday. So that's the next one that you all could pop in with. Those will be longer sessions though. Those will be like 1, 2, 3 hours or so. Normally those sessions are paid, but we are actually having them free this year. So I'm having that art math session. I'll be having physics, and I will be having a couple other math sessions. We will be doing chemistry maybe sometime on Sunday or Monday. We'll do chemistry as well. So, and we have a good bit more math sessions coming in, and then we'll wrap up this year. And those of y'all who are interested in signing up for the student hub, if you're interested, you already know what you're going to do for CAPE. Mr. Keeley actually teaches the CAPE biology. So if you know you're going to study medicine, that's who's going to be teaching you biology in the student hub right here. And we have other really great teachers in CAPE, right? So this is the number to WhatsApp anywhere in the Caribbean. You WhatsApp this number 310-1306 +1 868. You have other numbers for Jamaica, other numbers as well, but this number works right through the Caribbean, so you could always use this. All right, everybody. Love and blessings. Enjoy your exam tomorrow. Let mash up. Don't let the exam mash up. Is multiple choice. Make sure and secure the bag. Until we meet again.